Everyone, it's Miss Angelic, Truth and Integrity Warrior. Today is January 10th, 2022. I don't know what to title this. I'm going to title it later. It's just a series of events that have happened to me that I got to figure out how I'm going to put them piece them into a video so I can get this information out to you, right? I've been through some shit in the last couple days from the 6th to the 8th of January this year, 2022. I got to figure out how to put it in a video. It's so fucking extreme and so different directions. I got to figure out how to put them together and how it's going to benefit you. Because, you know, why you watching me if it ain't going to give you a benefit? That's why you're watching, right? Or what has happened to you, Michelle, that benefited you, that now can benefit me or oneself. That's what these videos are about. So putting all this together, I haven't been able to piece it out. I got all my notes right here. You know, I got it all written down. I'm still trying to figure out how to work this. But in short, we know we got a lot of tough situations to deal with in the world. Primarily our emotions, how we feel about shit, and we want to change how we feel, but we fucking feel we can't, right? We feel we can't. And so we need some help. We need some help on figuring out how to do that. How to be centered under chaos. How to be still under pressure and still act, you know, still move forward. And that's hard for many, and it's why that's important, and what this video is about, why it's so important to get us to that place. Because we can't wait to have $1 million like gurus or like entrepreneurs to then get to that relaxed state. We have to do it right now when we got, you know, we're negative in our bank accounts, and we're not with our family or our kids, and we displaced, and we ain't got a home, and we got to start all over again, that kind of shit, or whatever it is that your shit is, it's shit, and we're all in it just to a different degree, you know. And so it's not about my situation or your situation. There's just situations out there that we're trying to figure out, how do I find center within myself, knowing that shit's all fucked up. How do I do that? Well, I'm here to talk the talk because I'm walking the walk right now, right? I'm walking the walk. And so because there's so many people out there who are millionaires telling everybody how to get there, that's good. But now what do I do about right now? What I do here right now? And that's what this video is going to be about. What I've come to recognize, where we're getting help from, right? And how we got to help ourselves and where we're getting help from. And I'm not religious, so this ain't going to go into a religious spiel. It's not. I believe and know, I didn't change my words, I don't believe, I know there's an almighty force that lives within and we're connected to, and it's the reason why our heart can beat without being connected to anything. It's why we feel, you know, it's why we exist. So I'm not an atheist either, you know. I believe in something. There's a source of something that we're a part of, but we don't know how that shit works. And that's also what these videos are about, is to know how it works and how it works within, so that we can project it on the outside, and we can, because we live in a physical reality, right? And I'm talking about something that's electrical, energetic. It's in a vibrational field that we can't see or touch, but yet it's everywhere. Well, how do we make that work right here? How do we apply it? How do we get it into physicality and bring it centered within myself so that I can handle fucking pressures around me? It don't mean I sit still while shit's fucking falling apart. It means I could be calm and not stick my emotions into it and get shit done because it needs to get done. That's it. Without losing my mind, you know, without getting aggressive or upset about it. Just 1 + 2 = 3. Get it fucking done, you know, without fucking breaking down. But here's the thing: is we got to break down all of our shit that's our emotional baggage that we can't see to be able to get to that state. That's just how it is. It's just how it works. And because the energies will change. That's why it has to happen. People are like, I don't have to do that. Well, if you want to change your energy to be able to change your emotion, to be able to change your thought process, to be able to affect the field of reality, to manifest and create magnetically what you want, then yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that. Or, you know, if you're too lazy to do it, then I get some supplements. Fucking more than likely vitamin deficient, you know. Nutritionally deficient, so you can't get the energy or the thought patterns to make you want to, because it's natural to nature to want to be well, to want to feel good, be good, do good. It's natural to mankind. All this fuckery about how we're a piece of shit and we ain't no good. We've been downgraded to get to that state. We've been demineralized, you know. Our food system's been broken down to make sure we get to this fucking mental state, because our brain can't fucking function, our emotions can't be right, and so we show that dysfunction in our society. We see our society breaking the fuck down right now, you know, and it's because we can't mentally or emotionally get our shit together, because we're being unraveled from the inside out nutritionally. Regardless of all the socioeconomic situations that go on, we still have the ability to change, because I fucking lived it and I know it. So I know I can change because of all the shit that's happened to me growing up. I don't have to be what I was exposed to, right? But if my mind can't process and my emotions can't process, then I don't have a fucking chance. And so what I mean by that is we're being demineralized to lose the state of how we think, you know, and how we feel. And those things affect what we do in the world. I got more videos on that. Post the videos on the bottom if you want to see that. But going back, let me just go and talk about my experiences that I had from the 6th of January to the 8th, to kind of like bring this all full circle so you can understand what epiphany I had, because I had a fucking epiphany and a realization to understand that this is reality. Reality is not what we've been told. Reality is something else, and there's so much more to learn about it. So much more to learn about it. I'm not trying to say I got all the information, I got all the data, but I do recognize that a whole world of reality has changed for me, and now I got to know how to live in a physical reality while understanding that there's other layers of reality that we can't see, but it's communicating, almost like I've said in other videos, like a reconnaissance force, right? They're telling you where to go, where to move, so you can get to a safe zone, so that you can walk through safely through danger, because they got a perspective that we can't see, and they're there to get you out. They're there to get you out because they know you're in some shit. They know you're not in the right place. And when I say not in the right place, I'm in this fucking world. This reality there's a fucking mess in this reality. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should be watching my videos. There's a fucking mess going on in this reality. And we can't fix the big picture, but I know that we can fix our own picture, our own little pixel in this big picture. So if we can get that focus down, we got something going. And so part of my situation on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of January this year, oh gosh, how do I put this together? I don't even like talking about this, but it's what I got to do. I got to do this, and it's hard to bring out and talk about things people can't see, you know, because you can't prove that shit. But what I can do is prove what I'm seeing and what I'm recognizing, that are synchronistic coincidences that lead us to the right way, right path, or a balance that we're trying to find, right? And they're always there. We don't know how to fucking pay attention to them. It's like a network. People call them the divine, you know, connecting to the divine. Well, I call it a divine network, because this network, once we get synchronized with it, we can flow. No matter how fucking rocky things get on the outside, we got our fixed. The more we fix our emotions on the inside, the more we connect to this network, this divine network. And it will lead you and guide you through these synchronicities that we have never been trained to pay attention to, that we've noticed our whole life, but we ignore because we don't know there's something fucking going on. There's something going on. And it's been cracking my brain for the past, I don't know how many months, I'd say since August. I'm gonna call them Angelics because people understand things like Angelics, but I call them Recon. I'll feel more comfortable calling them Recon, because this reconnaissance force, when I say Recon, you guys might be calling them Angelics. I don't feel comfortable with the idea of angels and demons the way we've been taught through religion and movies. I've seen demons and they're not fucking human, and I don't see them like I see them in the movies and religion, like I said. I have not seen angels per se like I've seen negatives in physicality. I've seen that shit. And so I can't sit here and tell you they look like this and it's like that, because I'd be fucking lying. I can't lie. Not to you, not to me. But they are showing me through symbols and signs and fucking synchronicities that one would say that shit'll drive you crazy. But what I'm doing is I'm recognizing there's a fucking pattern going on, and I gotta follow that flow. I gotta follow that flow. And now that this is a reality in my life, that flow is changing my world. It's changing my world for the better. Even though I'm under a lot of fucking pressure of well, pretty much having nothing to have to restart over. When I say nothing, I shouldn't say that. You know, there's people right outside of this building right now. They got fucking nothing. They're sleeping outside, and they look like they've lost their fucking mind, honestly, walking in circles and shit. So I shouldn't say I don't have nothing, but if you look at me on a piece of paper, you put my shit down, you know, I got 0 to my name. They got a long fucking story. I don't even want to go through it because it's not what it's about. It's not about me and my problems and are they like your problems. We got problems, you know, and those, whatever those problems are in those circumstances, we are limited by how we feel inside. And what I'm trying to do here is show how to change that feeling, because our feelings affect the field of reality that's electromagnetic in nature. We are magnetic in our thought process, in our emotional process. One's electrical and one's magnetic, and we affect the field, and we don't know that's happening. So because I'm aware of that, I have to do this work. I do this work. Well, I've been doing this work since I was a kid, meaning I've always pushed fucking through, not knowing anything about what I'm talking to you about. But the more, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. I just had a lot of things happen to me, and I say I've carried a bag of what the fuck with me my whole life, and I just put those pieces of what the fuck in my bag so that one day I can piece them together. And that's what I'm doing right here, right now, is putting together all the pieces of my life to try to understand the world we're in, because I know since I was a kid there's something wrong with this fucking world. And you might say, well, why do you care about the world? Why don't you just fix your world? Because my world is your world and the world. My children are affected by the world, and if I don't help the world, I can't leave this world in that kind of state for my kids, you know, and their kids and their kids' kids, which means your kids, you know, and your kids' kids. We gotta fucking do something. I really believe we are the front line of humanity. We are the last ones to make a stand, to make a fucking difference. Because we're not going to have the right state of mind for the next generation. You can see this shit unraveling. You know, we're about to go into a fucking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome type of fucking crazy mentality. People losing their shit everywhere. And if you don't see it, fucking open your eyes, because it's a real reality and everybody fucking sees it. Everybody sees it. Alright, going back. Let me figure out how I'm going to put this together from the 6th, I said, of January to the 8th. So I'm going to make a video, right? I'm going to make a video on the 6th, and I'm walking into a Starbucks because I'm gonna shoot a video in there. And before I go inside of it, I'm like, okay, what's the title? Well, what title am I going to give this? And I know what I'm going to be talking about, right? But I'm trying to put a title together, and it's about anticipation, expectation, and anticipation. Because we got gurus and entrepreneurs telling everybody out there, you know, those manifesting people out there telling people how to manifest. They're saying don't have any expectation, and you never have to worry about failing. I get that, but I wanted to take it further. Is don't have any anticipation, because I gotta have a motherfucking expectation, or how the fuck am I gonna move? How am I gonna take action? I expect to do this, boom, I gotta get it fucking done. What I don't need is to have an anticipation, meaning anticipate an emotion to what the fuck I gotta do. I just gotta get it done. I don't anticipate if I'm gonna like it or dislike it, if it's gonna be right, if it's gonna be wrong, if it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work. I can't have none of that emotion connected to it, because the anticipation is the emotion of the expectation. So you can't tell me not to have an expectation, or I can't fucking move. I need to move, focus, fucking get my direction and get it done. But the anticipation is the one that if I remove, then I will just always keep moving forward, because I'm not worried about, is it right, is it wrong, is it up or is it down, did it make me feel good, did they say the right thing, is it what I wanted to hear, because I didn't paint a picture. And so if I don't paint a picture of what the outcome's supposed to be, I don't anticipate an outcome, and then when I get the answer to when it's time for the results, it don't fit my picture, then I fucking feel let down, right? Well, to bypass all of that, I don't have an anticipation. I just keep getting the fucking work done. Boom, move forward, get it done. I need to do this. This needs to be done. Did it, done, go, good, next. And it doesn't matter what people's ideas or thoughts or whatever situation may come of it. It's the situation, and then I'll deal with the next situation. But I will always expect to be able to get a vision and move forward. So that's what that video is going to be about, right? And as I'm walking in, I hear a song from Carly Simon called Anticipation. What the fuck? Like, how? How am I going to be doing a video about expectation and anticipation, what the difference is, or what the differences are, and a song comes on, and that song is Anticipation. You know, Anticipation? Oh shit. Of all the fucking songs, that's an old ass song too. It's my song back in my day. It's an old ass song. That song don't randomly come up on a regular basis, you know. So that coincidence, of course, I gotta write that down. I gotta over a year. Wow, how many months? I got months and months and months of constant synchronicity, coincidence, and I'm putting them together on a piece of paper like a document. Because if I don't document what day and what happened and what the situation was, it's not believable later. Because I was like, yeah, well, a lot of it happened. No, it needs to be documented. So I've been documenting this stuff through video, screenshots, through writings. I got books on books on books of just fucking noting all this stuff down because it's not believable, straight up. I mean, I have no problem with people saying that shit ain't believable. I'll be you damn fucking straight. It's not believable. I'm fucking straight. But I'm living it. So I have to integrate it into it is believable because I'm living it. So this is my new reality is I am in sync with this synchronicity, and now I just got to follow into that flow because I've been fighting it. I've been fucking fighting it because it's surreal. This shit's fucking surreal that we're getting information from an outside source, outside of this reality. We'll just put it like that, right? Out of this frequency, out of this zone of frequency, right? That we're used to, not a tappable network, put it that way. So this network of information, or wherever this information is coming from, is just out of, not from here, it's out of this zone. I know that sounds fucking nutty. I'm trying to find a better way to express what I'm trying to say. Outside of this reality means that if it was in this reality, it just fucking pop up, say, Michelle, what's up? Let me spit some information to you. And it'd be right here, right? It'd be in physicality. But it's not in physicality, so it has to be outside of this frequency. That's what I'm trying to say. So outside of this frequency, physicality, I'm getting coded information through synchronicities, numbers, a random message out here, something somebody says correlates with what somebody else is doing, which is information I need to know so that I know where to walk, where to step, how to feel, and how to project for the next step. If you're not living this, that might not make no sense, but if you ever do tap into this being part of your awareness, then this information will help. Put it that way. This ain't for everybody to sit back and be like, oh, I get it. I know most people ain't gonna get it, but the ones who do might want to know what the fuck is going on. And so the more we share our experiences, the more we're gonna be able to collaborate, I should say, on what these possibilities are of how all this is working and why this is working. So I got my own reasons why this is working. I don't want to go into this video because I wanted to go back into this focus, right? So that synchronicity of anticipation, you know, that song coming on when I'm about to, right before I'm about to do a video about anticipation. That's significant because now I'm talking about it here to you today. And that video that I was trying to make, I ended up... I kept trying to upload it and it wouldn't upload. My computer went down. Everything I tried, it's back up today. It's back up today, but it went down for a couple days and I wasn't able to get the video uploaded. And now I know why. Because I would have uploaded it and it would have taken away from all of what I'm creating right now in this video. And this is also how, let's say, recon that work with the angelics. Recon is outside of the angelic field, and that's another video for another time, and not too many people, in fact, I don't know anybody who's talked about it, but this is what I'm seeing. And when I say I'm seeing, things are brought to my attention for me to know this, and this has been my whole life. Like I said, this is not just random. I've been collecting pieces my whole life, and this is what the picture shows, that there's a reconnaissance force outside of this field, outside of the angelic field, outside of this box reality or realities that we're in, and it works with the angelics then to get information here into this reality. And I say angelic so I don't say angels, because we've got a different perception of angels, and I understand angelics to be light codes, like coding, like the same way we put coding into a computer so that it gives us a pictorial of what we're seeing. You know, it's just a bunch of configuration of numbers, but in the end you got an image. Well, angels, we have an image of angels, but they're light codes that when you bring them in just by thinking it, but we don't think it. We never think about angels and bringing in light codes. That we have so much power in our thought. We don't know that the soul runs from consciousness, and that consciousness has awareness, and that awareness sends a signal, and that signal can come in. Just like I pretty much described the phone, but this is the artificial example of the natural, and the natural is our soul, and we don't know how to work our soul. So we connect through light codes, and the angelics are light codes that come in, boom, make the adjustment, do coding that we can't see because it's on an invisible scale, but it's happening. Just like this phone makes a phone call on an invisible scale and gets you connectivity, or our connectivity changes and upgrades and adjusts with these light codes. But we ain't used to calling in angels because we think that shit's fucking fairy tale. I get it because I think the same thing. How I understand angels and how I understand recon is different than how it's been projected to us. And again, it's from all my life experiences that I come to this awareness. It's not a conclusion. I can't go into all of it right here in this video, but I will be. I will be. But this is like a step by step. First, I gotta show you this first step. Right? I gotta show you this first step. And this first step is knowing that that's there, right? But I keep pushing it to the side because I can't accept that shit's real. I can't accept it. I've just been going back and forth with this shit. When I say this shit is that there's a different way that life works, that reality works, and I'm trying to figure out how to integrate it into my life, but I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with that accepting that. And so I'm looking down here so that I can figure how to put this together. So the video never goes up, right? That's the sort of backstory. I'm trying to figure out where I was and where I want to go with what I'm saying. So the video never goes up, which is good because that video is a bit on the extreme side. I went off to the wrong side. When I say wrong side, is that was not the direction that let's say recon. I feel more comfortable saying recon. That's not the video and the message recon wanted me to get out, and they let me know, but not letting me access the goddamn video or my computer. So I wasn't able to access any of it till today. The next day, on the 7th, I'm trying to remember the dates when I got them right here. On the 7th, I went over to the library, got some work done, and was walking back. I wasn't making a video, right? But I was walking back to my sister's house, and from the library back to my sister's house, I'm walking down the street, right? And I'm thinking, why am I not fucking successful? Why have I worked so hard in my life? Like, if you know me, you know who I am, I work like a motherfucker. I mean, but I do it with integrity. And there may be people who work hard out there, but I don't fucking slack. I don't trim the corners. I don't fucking try to cut corners is what I'm trying to say. I don't half-ass anything. I fucking give it full force. And I do it with all the fucking love and righteousness that I know. And I cannot fucking succeed. I can't fucking succeed. And so I'm walking down the street and I was like, am I fucking born to fail? Am I born to fail? I already cried this out, right? I shouldn't be crying right now, but I can feel it. I can feel it. You know, I've already come to terms with this. But as I'm walking down the street, I'm just like, I was born to fail. I was. Because you can't do so right and get it so wrong so many times. So many times. It's like pushing up that picture of this guy pushing a giant boulder up the fucking mountainside, right? And then you barely get to the top of it. Bang! That motherfucker comes down. Well, I never stopped to think when that boulder came down, when that fail happened, of the so many fails. So many fails. The things that don't follow through, things that don't come through is a fail. Alright? So many painful experiences that I never gave myself the time to look at what happened, to feel the emotion and the pain of the experience. Because I just get that fucking boulder and I push it right the fuck back up. Fast. I mean fast. My fucking turnaround's quick. I ain't fucking around. My turnaround is so fucking fast. Looking back, it's just scary. Like, I didn't give myself no fucking time to cry or feel. As much as you see me cry on these videos, I'm under so much stress and pressure under the moment. I ain't got no fucking time to cry. It's fucking go time, right? And that's survival mode. And I've been on survival mode for so long that these past 3 years I've just been fucking letting out all this fucking pain and reminiscing and remembering and grabbing it and then releasing to let it go. It's just been a process, a purging for these past couple of years. And it's been more intense 2001. That shit, I can't wait for that year to be over. It's a lot smoother this year, but although because it's only been 2 weeks into this year. That's the only reason it's smoother. But going back, I would never let that boulder fall, that fail happen, and acknowledge it. That's what was going on. And I didn't recognize this till after, right? I'm still going through my process. I'm still fucking crying, walking down the street. I look like a crazy person. I fucking had snot everywhere. Tears just running. I didn't give a fuck about who saw me, who thought what, who felt what. Just a crazy fucking woman feeling her life, going through a process, trying to get to my sister's house, walking down the street, right? And when I recognized that I had to be born to fail, I had to be, you know, because it's not possible to be so fucking righteous and it never to work out for you. It's not. You know, if you're a fucked up person trying to get things right, well, you understand why shit ain't gonna work out for you. But I put my heart into everything I do and to do it right. And growing up and just living in general, I know that I failed and I've done things wrong. I know I've done things wrong, but I felt it was right at the time. And looking back, I see how wrong it was. But if I didn't give myself a chance to accept that what's even going on, well, I can't remove that, forgive myself, right? So I've been going through that for the past couple of years of going through this process. Well, because I denied myself to feel the pain of failed relationships, failed within my family, you know, my children, failed relationships within the lovers of my life, failed, all of them failed. I mean, it's bad, not a little bit, but I mean bad. Failures in business, failure as a kid, trying to be a kid, and I couldn't even be a kid. I had to be a grown-up as a kid. And how is it fail? I mean, just this constant holding me back from being able to succeed. So what ended up happening is that brought me to such a low to know that there has to be this fucking system is rigged. We're in a reality that's rigged, and no matter how hard I try, I can't get over that fucking hump. I can't get that boulder past that mountainside. And a lot of you right now are like, oh no, Michelle, turn that around, flip it, make it fucking fluffy. You know, no. Fucking, that's the problem. We don't face shit for what it is so that we can change it. We don't face it. We want to fucking sugarcoat it and pretend to manage. Alright, so I had to start recording again. what I was going back is to being able to accept denial. When we deny things, we create a resistance in ourselves. And that's what was going on. I had this intense fucking resistance inside of me. Again, this is me talking to you on the 10th. On the 7th, I wasn't feeling like that. On the 7th, I felt so fucking low that I wanted to fade away. Because I felt every fail I've ever had, I could feel them all at one time. That was too much for me to fucking handle. Too much for me to handle. That by the time I got to my sister's house, I laid down in that bed and I couldn't get up. And it's in the afternoon. It's in the afternoon. And I just fucking laid there. And I was angry at the same time because I recognized that life was set up for me to fail. And life, let me go back on that. Life wasn't set up for me to fail. I was born to fail. And you're going to have to handle what I just said and process that shit. Take it, just like I took it. And I'll explain why in a minute. It's because we want to deny this shit is real. We want to deny how we feel. We want to deny the fucking circumstances that we're in. And because of that, we build up a resistance. And that resistance lasts and it lasts. Year after year, and then one day, fucking on the 7th of January 2022, walking down the street, that shit will just all fucking come to you at once. All that fucking resistance, like a goddamn tidal wave, like a fucking tidal wave. So this tidal wave of emotions, of the most deepest fucking emotional pain I've ever felt, that I wanted to fucking fade away. And I never have been that low. Never. Never. I've never felt why other people just want to just stop. Just not be here no more. But inside of me, I know I can't. And outside of me, I know I can't. Meaning, I will always have a fighting will to be alive. And I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying I was able to feel that pain that most people feel when they get that low. I had never gotten that low before. Going back to the part where I say reality is a setup is because I've been speaking to somebody who's he does birth charts, right? And as I'm listening to him, I don't want to get into how I know this and how I got into that. That's for another video. But what I want to explain is, as I'm hearing him read my birth chart, and he's only giving me sections at a time, right? I've only gotten sections at a time, it's not all at once. And as he's telling me these things, I'm just like, wait a minute, how is these things that I'm hearing identical to my person? I mean, too goddamn identical to what I've lived in my reality as a kid and growing on up. And then I put that together, I piece that together with what I've been hearing on readings, because I've been listening to a lot of readings, and because I'm trying to figure out how all this is working. How can people read energy in the field? How is this happening? And then who's reading what and how are they reading it? And I can't know something unless I get into something and then see how the mechanics works about it, right? It's not like I just go in and I listen and I believe. I'm very investigative about everything I hear. And so what I'm hearing readers talk about is we're going through these phases through the moon cycles that are affecting the energetics of the people on the whole planet. And they're not literally saying that. Astrologers are saying that. And I'm listening to astrologers talking about what they're talking about as a whole, planetarily they're talking. And then readers, they talk about this subject or that subject, and then the energy of it and the energy fields. And I'm seeing this correlate. I'm seeing astrology readings on how these moon cycles, the new moon and then the full moon, we have 2 a month, right? We have a new moon and then a full moon later in the month, and that's how it works. Cycles of every month. And because I'm hearing them, I'm just like, how is all this correlating? What are they reading? There's some type of system set up where we're in some kind of cycle, right? And how can it have that much control over emotions? And so we know that depending on the planet, or I should say the moon, when it comes in close, and it's a full moon, it affects the water, starts lifting up the tides in the oceans. And why can it do that? Because we live in an electromagnetic motherfucking field. And the bodies around us, the planets around us, that's what I mean by bodies, are magnetic, electromagnetic. So are we. So, and we're full of water. The majority of us, of our being is water, is what I'm trying to say. The majority of our being is water. So if the oceans can be affected by a full moon, in this water, how is the water within us also being affected? So it affects us on an emotional scale. And so I don't have anybody telling me this. I'm correlating. I'm recognizing, right? I'm putting pieces together. And so the reason this is relevant is because I have been learning this and researching it for the past couple months, that I'm recognizing that fucking reality is rigged. There's rigging going on and we don't fucking know it. And I don't care if somebody's a good guy or a bad guy. It doesn't matter to me. If I know I'm being fucking played, if I feel that I don't know something, everybody else knows something, that should make me fucking mad. That should make me really fucking mad. And what I mean is, I don't like to be set up for nothing. And I fucking know it. And that's why I said I was walking down the street and I felt this is a fucking setup that I was born to fucking fail. It has to be, because I do it so fucking right. And they can never get the fucking boulder on the other side of the goddamn hill. No matter how much fucking force, goodwill, righteousness, fucking diligence. God dang, you have to know me to know what I'm talking about, to feel what I'm talking about. But all of them will fail, right? So when those aspects of reality, of all of me recognizing that I have failed and I've denied that feeling of what it feels to fail, that all of them came in, pom, 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 pom. I mean, I was feeling everything, from my relationships to my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my lovers, relationship in business. It's just everything. All my relationships all fucked up. But instead of accepting that, I just, like I said, move forward and push. And so getting all of that feeling and then recognizing that reality's fucking rigged, putting those two pieces together, and I'm just mad sad as fuck. You ever been mad sad? Then as fuck, you know what I'm saying? This is like, I've never been so fucking mad sad in my life. Either one or the other, but this one was a combination. When I was on my sister's house, laying on the bed, fucking just bawling my fucking eyes out. I wanted to scream so loud. And I've done that when I'm out in Mexico, because I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody to tell nothing to, It's just, it doesn't matter. You hear cows and goats, you hear all kinds of shit out there, but it doesn't really matter if I let out a crazy ass scream out there. But here, you let out a scream, somebody call somebody. Here, being in San Diego, California, being in the city, you can't let out a crazy motherfucker scream like that. I screamed with my mouth wide open, with no sound. So, yeah, I felt like I was gonna pop a fucking vein in my body, and so I had to hold back. Meaning that I could have gone further, but I felt I was gonna pop something. That's how much pressure I put into that silent scream of how fucking mad I was to know that there's a lack of control I have about my fucking reality. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. I still don't fucking like it. I'm still trying to get adjusted to it, honestly. But it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. And I'll be putting in more videos as I learn more, because I like to get to the bottom of things and know how things fucking operate, how the mechanics work, so that I can know how to flow. It's like bobbing and weaving in a fucking fight. If I'm gonna be in that ring, I better be able to roll with the punches and know what it is to bob and weave in a fucking move, or I'm just gonna just stand right in front of that fucking jab and just eat jabs all fucking day. And that's what we're going through. We're going through life just eating fucking jabs all day, because we don't know that there's a fucking flow. There's a way we can be right in the middle and not get hit. And be comfortable. And that's what this video is about, is how to be comfortable when your bank is at zero, when your kids are not with you, when you don't got a home, and you're going to know everything's going to be all right because you're following the flow. And this flow is this network that I'm trying to tell you, this divine network. And a lot of y'all get awarenesses, intuitions, you feel it, you sense it, you dream it, but you fucking avoid it because you deny it. I know, because that was me. That was me. But the more we resist, the more we deny, I should say, the more resistance we create. The more resistance we create, the more tension and friction we got inside. And it's removing that fucking tension and friction so that we can have space for flow. for flow. And so I'm looking down here on my book because I want to make sure that I don't miss a topic. I don't want to miss a topic. Let me give you some ideas of what I mean about this network. This network. How is it that you can see this network and flow in it? Well, the more resistance we got inside, the less we're connected to that network. It is how it is. Meaning you got to do the fucking work. You got to recognize your own shit. You got to fix within yourself. See it. You can't remove something if you can't accept the motherfucker's there, right? So once we accept it's there, then it's like moving on out, so that I have new awareness that when that comes again, I know how to handle that. When I have a moment of I failed to do something or something didn't go the way I wanted, I know I got to not avoid it. I know I got to look at it, process it, have that acceptance, and moving on out. Because I ain't got no storage space for all of that fucking resistance, that anger, that frustration, that hate, all that fucking buildup that I got growing up. You know, because we all got it growing up as a kid, and now we got it as adults. The point here is to make sure that we can teach our children how to live in the flow, so they don't got to go through all that fucking tension and resistance and anger and all that shit all build up from all that accumulation of growing up fucked up. That's the best way I can say it. Growing up fucked up. Everybody got different levels of fucked up, but you know yours. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up, and you know it. Regardless if you tell people about it or not, you know it. I don't care if I tell people. I wear my life on my sleeve. If you haven't noticed, right? That's probably why it's easier for me to make these videos than others, and I don't feel the shame. You know, I don't feel embarrassed. Maybe that's the right word. I don't feel embarrassed because I've always lived with my life on my sleeve. I don't know why. It's probably in my birth chart. I haven't got it all read to me yet, but I bet you that shit's in my birth chart. A birth chart is a map of your imprint of what it would be your coding that's going to get put into your DNA that's going to make you, that's going to make your path on. It's almost like a map of your path of how you're going to be living. And so that if you see a hole, you know to fill that motherfucker so you can walk on through instead of just falling into it. Because that's what's happening. We're fucking falling into holes and pitfalls and getting fucking right hands and jabs to the face when it's right in front of us, but we can't see it because we don't know what's fucking going on. And like I said, I haven't gotten my whole birth chart all done yet. It's still in the process. I'm still getting it spoon-fed to me. But I'm recognizing there's a correlation and there's a setup. And if there is I don't want to say setup. Let me change that word. If there is a cycle going on and I don't know how to function in that cycle can be fucking used against me. And that's what I see happening. I see that those in charge of our systems of how we live in societies know how this fucking chart works. And I'm talking the big guys, not the little guys, not the ones who think they're fucking in charge. I'm talking about the ones really in charge. The manipulators, how we go? Let's call the cabal. Everybody's kind of like on the same page with that, right? The cabal. They know this shit, and we don't. We've been told that it's evil, it's devilish. I mean, I ain't even religious, but I still got that effect that readings and astrology and birth charts, all that's evil. I have that same image in my mind, and I'm not religious. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's been programmed into our thinking thought of how we're supposed to feel about these circumstances, or I should say, these topics. I'm the kind of person where I want to know what the fuck is going on, so I got to get into topics so I can see how this game's fucking being played. Because I will not let it be used against me, because that's what's been going on. It's been used against us not to know that our emotions change by the cycles of the moons. Get the fuck out of here. But that's what's going on. I can prove that shit. I'm getting better and better at coming to a correlation where I can prove it better. I can prove it better, put it that way. I like things to be 1 + 2 = motherfucking 3. Done. No arguments, right? So if these things are happening and we don't know that we got to remove our negative emotions because it's fucking with our electromagnetics of how we function in the world and how we connect to this network, because the less emotional baggage we have, the better we connect to this network. It works just like that. It's like if you have corrosive fucking wiring, you ain't fucking connecting, period. To your car battery, to your fucking network, you know, there's interference. And so we got to get all this interference out so we can connect to this flow. And then we can step right instead of left, or step left instead of right at the right timing, because we're following the network and it's showing us a path so that we can be calm and steady because in a storm, because we know we got that guidance. You guys can call it a guidance of God, guidance of the divine, guidance of spirit, guidance of Holy Spirit. I mean, I don't want to get into the names because then we do this, you know, we conflict, we argue, and we don't need that. It's trying to get onto the same page that there's something above all things that we're connected to, a force that we're connected to that helps us live well, be well, do well, and create reality. We're co-creators, you know, we manifestors, but we don't know that we do that with the soul. We're not doing it with the body, we're doing it with the soul. But because we're in a physical reality, a three-dimensional reality where everything's physical, and we've never been taught to integrate the soul with the body, we don't know how these things are being used against us, right? And so it is my focus to get our bodies functioning so that our brains function, our guts function with our brains, and our brains are creating the right chemicals, reactions that are natural to our nature so that we can feel right, be right, do right, think right, right? And get our bodies fucking strong, because we do not actually degrade, we're being degraded. Though we put things into our body to make us younger, stronger, healthier, better. It is real, it exists. I'm living proof of it, and I'll continue to be. I'll share more information on that and more videos, but staying focused on what I'm saying right now is we're being broken down on many levels. So if our bodies and our minds, which are our souls, don't work right, we're easily taken advantage of and used for whatever means or purposes that I don't want to get into. In this video, I want to talk about how to overcome, how to override that feeling or that sadness that I had inside, so that I can come back, boom, fucking stronger and better than I fucking was before. So if I was pushing that, you know, strong enough to push that boulder up that mountain, this time when I do it, it's gonna be with fucking one hand and with ease, because I don't have the block within my brain, I don't have the block within my heart, I don't have the block within me, in my energetic, in my soul force, in my emotions, to stop me from stopping myself from being able to be successful. When I say successful, I don't mean entrepreneur successful. I mean successful and balanced and okay. Balance meaning I can ride the storm. I could be in the middle of the shit and be okay. Still smile, you know, still have love in my heart. and be able to enjoy my food and be around my nieces and be around my daughter and be around people and not share with them my pain, because I don't have it no more. That's my point. I don't have that pain. So I ain't hiding that pain. I released that motherfucker. But first I had to recognize it was there. So because I didn't recognize, going back, I didn't recognize that I had all this denial, you know, that created all this resistance within me, all this denial about failing. And I just move forward. That when it all came down, I felt like I just wanted to fade away. And so at the end of that night, which is the longest I've ever been out, usually I recover, recognize, and change, and overcome. But this one was so hard and so heavy that I needed a tool. I needed a tool to be able to override that emotion that I had, that mad, sad feeling that I was going through. So by the end of the night, I knew that I needed to do what I do in my other videos, and that's recognize that the pain is there, recognize the experience happened, accept them, forgive myself, you know, because at this point I needed to forgive myself. I didn't need to look for forgiveness for others, even though I've been, you know, my things have been stolen from me, even though a lot of things have happened to me by others. I needed to find forgiveness for myself, because I can't forgive those people if I can't forgive myself first for all the fucking damage I've done in my fails to my kids. To my kids. And I'm saying to my kids, I couldn't even say that shit out loud. Because if I couldn't get to that point of forgiving myself for failing them, and I'm not going to go through, how I failed them, and I don't mean in a societal way. I mean, like, I failed them because I should have done different, but I didn't because I didn't know no better. I have 2 sets of kids, meaning I have one set when I was younger. I was raising my little sister, from birth, and I raised my and I had my son. They're 5 years apart. That's my first set of kids, my first round of kids, I should say. And then later in my life, much later, almost hitting, going on my 40s, I had another round of kids, and I got my son and my daughter. And so my first round of kids is what I mean by I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of fails. And I just, just didn't even think about them. Didn't even recognize they were wrong and that I failed them. But I felt it on the 7th of January, just a couple days ago. And it just hit, and it hit, and it hit. And after I forgave myself, because that's all I got left to do, I have to do something. Can't fucking stay there. I can't quit on myself. I can't quit at life because I got too much fucking knowledge to fucking just end myself. And my kids got to go figure this shit out. They can't. I got to tell them. That's what these videos are about. I got to tell them. I got to leave something behind for the generations. And I got a lot of life to live to make sure that all that gets done. And I recognized that when I was laying in the bed. I was just like, but I know what people feel like, and this is a real horrible place to be on an emotional scale. And so when I finally got to the point, because I was so mad still, I didn't want to ask the angels to take this, to bring in the light codes and change, remove this sadness from my heart, and to bring in love. Because love's an element, and we don't recognize that. It's not just feeling. The feeling is a description, or it's an adjective. Love is a noun. It's something, and that something. Sorry about that. That something, that love, that is an element, literally comes in and fills the space, and boom, all those tears are gone. Boom, gone. But we don't know how to work with love as an element. But when we say, remove this from me so that peace can come in. I mean, you got to say whatever you got to say. We might say things different, but we have to do the action. We have to say, I acknowledge it so that I can let it go and bring in new love and understanding, whatever your words are. All right, whatever your words are. But this whole thing has to happen. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I got a phone call coming in, so sorry about that. Trying to go back and why it's important for us to get this change in our coding, because what it is we're adjusting emotional coding into our system so that we can connect to this network that'll guide and show us where the next steps are, that makes our intuition heighten, meaning our soul can read the field and know what move to make, who's lying, who's telling the truth. Our senses start to change. We get all these sensors that are dormant to us, but that we all have. And we don't know how to trust our intuition because we got a lot of fuckery going on with right and wrong. I believe myself, I don't believe myself, but that's because our thoughts don't match our feelings. And when we become organized with making sure that our actions and our words and our thought are all the same in one, then we're cohesive and we can trust our intuition. Those are other videos for another time. I actually got videos on that where I'm talking about that. Is we have to face our own contradiction, and the contradiction shows that we have to fix something there, and then it can get adjusted, and then this clearing of emotion, our organization within our system starts working and connecting, and we start getting this guidance coming more clear. I'm not saying you don't have guidance now, or you can't see it now. It just becomes more sharper, more clear, and our intuition becomes laser beam like. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll give an example of what I mean by these coincidences that keep happening, the synchronicity. I didn't know what I was going to make this video about because everything was changing on me from the 6th to 7th and the 8th, you know. On the 8th, I didn't even tell you about what happened on the 8th. But before I tell you what happened on the 8th, let me just show you the synchronicity, what I mean by about flow. So I come to the library today on the 10th, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to make this video about. And when this came into my attention, I was like, okay, the announcement or the clarifying or the making sure I make a statement in this video about how these angelics and recon work and how we flow into the divine network by removing out all the resistance we got from all the emotions we refuse, that we deny are there. We can't connect, and we need to connect in this shitstorm of reality that we're in, because we need to know that we can ride this out because we got help from the outside. And that's pretty much what this is all about, is we got help from the outside, and we don't recognize how to tap into that outside and bring it on in here so that we can navigate out here, all right, in this reality. So this is confirmation right before this video. So I go to the library and I can't get a space. They got 16 rooms, all of them are used up, and first come first serve. That's how it is, right? And so I'm like, okay, what can I be put on a list? They're like, no, it's first come first serve. You as soon as the key comes, whoever comes next, I give it to them, right? And I'm just like, but I'm here, I'm in line. They go, well, yeah, but if you're not here in this window, you can't get the room. I'm just like, God. All right. So I'm standing by, close by. Long story short, the lady recognized I really needed a room. She comes over and she says, all right, we got a room open up for you. I'm like, oh, that's so nice of you. You came all the way out here to even come and get me. So I go in and she tells me I need a key card to get in, and she gives me the number of my room. Look at the number of my room. And for some of you who don't know what that means, is 333, any type of numbers that are duplicated, triple, quadruple of the same number, is a code, it's information. And even if you don't know what the information, what that code means, it's go this route, go this way. You know, go this. If you have a choice between left or right, and one side has a 55 and the other one has, I don't know, a number 18, I'm gonna go with the 55 because the duplication of the numbers shows how do I want to say? It almost defines a synchronicity, right? There's a whole lot of other synchronicities I can go in about, but I'm just trying to keep this short and simple about how the numbers, following the pattern of the numbers. And for those of you like, well, you could have made that card, or you know, you brought that card just so you can make this video. Here's the library information. It shows right there. There's my receipt to come in and get this room. And so these numbers follow me everywhere I go, literally. And they come up only when I need them. Like when I ask a question to myself, I'm actually sending out information into the field to pick up that information and send a code back on walk this way, go right here, we're here, don't worry, things are going to be all right. But I got so much fucking worry inside of myself from all the fucking stress and pressures that I've had from my past that are affecting my future, because I still see my future the same way as my past, you know? And that's where we're stuck. And so we want to make this fucking adjustment, but we can't because we don't know how to fucking override this goddamn system. And something I did when I was laying down in that bed and moving out my sadness and bringing in that light code and saying, you know, thank you, Divine, for coming in and removing that pain, you know, settling my heart so that I can rock steady in this field and be ready for my next move in my life, right? Without that turmoil and all that resistance and that pain. I had to come up with something to override that life is rigged, right? The reality is rigged. That's the right word. Reality is rigged. I was still laying there, still laying sad because the whole reality, my reality, you know, reality keeps changing regularly. And because reality keeps changing, and I'm watching all these things that look sci-fi, you know, things that we see in movies come into reality, it's just like, how do I work with this, you know? I'm just still laying there and thinking how I work with this. And so in that, so sorry, I keep getting interrupted. I'm at a library in a private room and I keep getting interrupted, so I gotta pause the video. And then I lose my train of thought. So going back to where we were, I was talking about the why it's important. There's this real network going on, you know, why it's important to move out these old emotions, why it's worth the effort, you know, worth for our own sanity, for our own well-being, for our own health, you know, in all levels, physical, mental, emotional, moving out old emotions and bringing in new space, you know, because it's taking up space. Like I said, love is an element, and that element is stuck with old emotions that's crippling an element. And so to revive that element that we have within inside of us, that vibration of love, because it's a frequency, you know, it's not candy canes and rainbows and lollipops how we think love is, right? Love is a force. It's a fucking force. And it's intense and it's creative and it makes things and it builds things and it's constructive. Not destructive, it's constructive. And we're losing that element, that force of love within inside. So this is why it's relevant and it's important, no matter how hard accepting what we deny is. Because once we accept it, we can then remove it so that we got that new space inside. So we can connect to this divine network and we can flow better and know that something got our back. We got a force, they got our back. And religious people will call it whatever they call it, you know, and we're on the same page. We're just calling it something different. And I'm trying to get super logical with what's happening because I'm that kind of person, right? I can't go on what I don't know to be real because I haven't had the experience. I have to have the experience first to know something is real. And so when I say that this can connect to everybody, this network, this flow, this ebb and flow, you know, you want to call this network an ebb and flow because you don't like the word divine. I call it a divine network because I recognize angelics are actually real beings on a different frequency level, and they can help us, and they help us with light codes, but they can't help us with light codes if we don't call them in because we don't know they're there. We don't know how they work, right? And we don't know how we work, what we need help with so that we can navigate in this physical reality. The reason evil and good beings can't physically be here is because they can't fucking physically be here, but they can work through individuals and manipulate attention and behaviors. They can manipulate electronics very much so because they're electrical. They're working on an electric scale, and so we need to know how we work electrically so that we can keep shit out that we don't want, which is a negative, and we can bring in the light codes and that good force and that well-being to ourselves because we got help, like I said, from an outside source. I wanted to talk to you guys about how to override an emotion with a stronger emotion. I'm going to have to do another video for that so I don't complicate this one. And then I also wanted to talk to you guys about birth charts. How now on the 8th, which I didn't tell you, on the 8th, my friend who does birth charts calls me and tells me another section of my birth chart, and it just happened to be where my pitfalls were, right? And I don't want to go into what it's called and all that stuff, but I just want to narrow down of what it was about. And on another video, when I talk about birth charts, we're going to talk about my birth chart and how it literally, I mean, this shit blew my mind. So on the 7th, I have my breakdown, right? And I swear, and I say, I was born to fail. He proved it to me in my birth chart that I was actually born to fail, that I was going to be very lonely, and I have. My life has been very lonely, and not just recently, but if you look at my life, it's a lonely life. And that I was going to regularly fail. And so when he gave me that information and it correlated on the information that I knew and I felt because I could see a pattern in my life, it just confirmed. It confirmed it. And instead of being angry, I recognized, you know, even though I had mixed emotions about it, that sad mad, you know, I'm sad this shit is happening and I'm mad because I don't like anything having fucking control over me. You know, I'm a Scorpio. I like to have the reins and the control of my own life, but I recognize there's other things going on, and I have to be able to, like Bruce Lee says, bend, mold, and adjust. You know, be like water. You gotta flow through this. You can't be rigid and only one track mind. And my one track mind is I'm in motherfucking control of my life when I'm not. So that was a hard pill for me to swallow, but it's been something that's been pushed on me for a long time now, for months now, And I'm finally at the point where I recognize I got to work with this divine network and make it work for me instead of having all this resistance and everything working against me. Everything working against me. And so in that birth chart, I'll do a video on the birth chart and how I'm saying reality is rigged, and word for word what it said, how it said in my birth chart that I'm set to be lonely and to fail. But that night on the 7th, when I came back to my senses and all that, not back to my senses, but I released all of that emotional pain by bringing in that love and releasing and letting go. I recognized that I was born to fail. And this is, remind you, this is before my friend told me it's in my birth chart. Born to fail. That I told myself on the 7th, that night, that I was fucking born to fail, only to show how the fuck to rise. How to fucking rise from every angle, every fucking position that we can fucking imagine, so that I can understand the people around me and let them know that we're gonna fucking make it. That we can fucking make it. That we can fucking push through. Because I've fucking been there. And I know that we can. I'm my own fucking living testimony that I know for fucking fact that we can. And I ain't fucking saying that wholeheartedly. And I don't say shit to make people feel good. I say it because I fucking live it. I feel it. I know it. And when he told me that on the 8th, and he confirmed that I was born for that, fuck yeah. Fucking, I accept it now. I accept it. Why do I accept it? Because I'm showing how the fuck it's done to get out of it. From here on in, that's not my path in my life anymore. Because it also talks in the birth chart what you have to do to avoid it or to stop it, or almost like karma, to stop the karma, the cycle of karma is I had to accept it. And my whole life I didn't accept it. I didn't even recognize I wasn't accepting it. I didn't even fucking recognize I wasn't accepting failure. I wasn't recognizing it. So to avoid it, in the chart it tells you you have to first accept it so that you can have a smooth path. Wow. I wish somebody would have read that to me as a kid growing up. I would have understood my life better. And like I said, I'll do a video on birth charts and we'll be working on mine so you can see what I'm talking about. And you gotta always know that when somebody does your birth chart or reads to you, you have to know the vessel that's communicating to you. If I'm gonna give an example, if a glass of water is dirty and there's clean water in that dirty glass, I ain't drinking that fucking water, because now that water is contaminated. No matter how clean that water was before it got that, the water being the information, right? No matter how clean that information or that water was before it got in that dirty glass, it's coming out dirty because the vessel, the person now in this case, is this relaying the information to you has hate or envy or jealousy, whatever shit that they haven't fucking fixed or balanced out in their emotions. They're going to spew out a message that's going to come in their reflection. So you got to know who you're talking to. You got to have a very well balanced individual who can communicate to you, because the information needs to come out very clear without any judgment or opinions coming from the vessel or the individual. That's just a little that's something I recognized. Very important detail. So you just can't go get your chart read by anybody or done by anybody, and you can't just go get a read from anybody. Got to look at the vessel. A good vessel found me. This guy found me. It was a blessing. I was very grateful to have this man come and seek me out, and he says, I think I can help you with something, and he did, and he has, and he continues to. If anybody's interested in him doing your chart, because he's doing mine, and I'm having him do my family's too, my kids, because I want my kids to be able to grow up and have like a map to understand why things feel the way they do for them, how they see life, and where pitfalls may be, where their strengths and weaknesses are. So they just got a general idea of not what they're forced to live, but because destiny and the will, free will, are one and the same. We're talking about destiny is what you're born here to do, like I was born to fail, but only if I don't fail, I can't rise. So I was born to fail so I could teach how to rise. I'll never be able to rise if I didn't fail first. So this video is not about, my sadness, my weakness. This is about how I overcame and what I had to recognize and what I could share so other people could recognize that you can rise through this. If you were born not to succeed, it's because there's something there to grab, to learn, to nourish, to change for you and your generations and those around you. It matters. Fucking matters. You matter. I think that was important for me to say for someone listening out there. You fucking matter. We all do. We're all a little pixel in a very big fucking picture, and we're very potent, we're very strong, very capable, very electric, and we affect everything and everyone around us. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. A tiny little ending I'm going to do right here, and it's how to change an emotion. I was going to do a video on it, but I feel like I gotta say it right now, because a lot of you are going to take this information, but you're going to have an emotion that you can't fucking feel. You can't fix. I wanted to say you feel and you can't fix. You feel that you can't fix it. It's because you have to have a stronger emotion to come in and override that very strong emotion. I got to be stronger. So I had an experience, and this will be to wrap up because I don't want to make it too long for you guys. But it all correlates. So if you get to a point where you cannot override an emotion, like I did a video just a little while ago. It was, gosh, I forgot the name of it already, but it's Override Hard Reality. That's what it was. The video was Override Hard Reality. Is in my video, you could hear me literally say, don't tell me the word patience. I couldn't stand that fucking word patience. But I recognized and I correlated that the word patience meant wait. Things are going to get better. Like, not consciously, but I had to think, why don't I like that word? What makes me hate that fucking word? Like, I can't even have it around me. Like, snap when I hear have patience. When I was growing up, I heard have patience. When I was raising my kids, I told them have patience. Because I always wanted things to get better, but shit never fucking got better. And so that word reminds me of shit ain't never gonna be alright. But I'm not conscious of it. I had to really stop and fucking think, why can't I stand the word have patience when shit's a fucking ride, Shit's a ride, you want me to have some fucking patience? I'm made up of noise and you want me to fucking sit still? Well, we can't sit still and get to that network, to that divine network, and reorganize ourselves when we're under chaos, because we can't make peace inside with our feelings. So we gotta override that motherfucker. And so how did I do it? How did I find a stronger emotion than the word have patience, right? I had to figure out how to create a new association of imagery to the word patience, because the one I had meant fail, can't do, never will, never happens, wait one day, things will get better, and they never fucking did. So, be it that's so fucking strong, that emotion is so strong, what's stronger than that? For me, what can I visualize? And I had gone through, what do I have to have patience with in my life? I sat down, I was like, what do I have to have patience no matter what? I have to have patience. I was like drinking my hot tea. I have to drink that patiently because it'll burn my lips, because I love it super, super, super hot. I don't like it lukewarm or kind of warm. I like it crazy hot, right? And so I have to have a lot of patience going into that into that tea, right? Drinking that tea. But I was like, that's not a strong enough emotion. My tea don't override all that fucking shit of my life. It don't work for me. So I had to think. I had to go in deeper. I was like, I gotta go in fucking deeper. I gotta think. And when I said the word deeper, boom, it all hit me. And this is something you should have your kids hear, okay? So if you got kids around, turn the fucking video off right now, because I'm about to say something sexual. Because that's the only thing I know that I got a passion for. Is sex, right? We all got fucking passion for sex. We all love it, right? But I love it. I associate everything to it. And I was like, why don't I associate something sexual to the word patience? Because I never thought about doing that shit before, right? It don't make no sense. But it did when I thought about it, because I was like, fucking, I love it slow and deep. I love it. I fucking love it. I like to feel fucking every goddamn sensation that goes in to that slow and deep with fucking patience, Just get it right up in there, slow I like it gladiator style too, don't get me wrong, but I had to make an association to what I love with a passion, with a word I cannot fucking stand. So patience now for me is sexual. I hear patience and I can't wait to have some fucking more. I want some more patience. Got to think about patience right now? Give me a second. I'm thinking about patience right now. So now, when I think about patience, I'm just like, I love it. I love the word. It don't hurt me no more. Literally, somebody say, have some patience and I can be all right. And I ain't fucking joking. Like, I had to test myself. I had to see if I hear be slow and steady, will win the race. Those kind of things were making me mad when I would hear them before. But letting me know that slow and steady, you're going to get there, have some patience. I can feel that word. I literally can feel that word. And because I've now been able to create a word that I had a feeling connected to something negative, now my feeling is with my passion, what I love, And so we have to make these correlations by switching up the words with the imagery. The word has to have a different image, and it has to be stronger. It has to be much fucking stronger than the original image, and that's the only way we're going to be able to override and bypass how we feel and how we think to connect to be one. So now I got the word patience and how I feel about patience to organize where it's steady and calm inside of me. And so I can be patient. I can be patient. I love to be patient now. And so we have to look at life like that, right? We got to override this rigged reality that we're in, that we're going to go more into in other videos. But for right now, I'm going to leave it right here. I know it's a fucking handful of information I gave you guys. I don't know how it's going to help you guys. I hope that it does. It's almost like random pieces I tried to create to some type of organized form of information. But all that shit was going on between the 6th and the 8th of January of this year, 2022, that I felt I needed to get that on video. And also, Recon wanted me to get it on video. When I say that, they will push things in front of my face to let me know what the message is or what I need to know or what I got to do, And in this case, it's communicating with others, letting them know that something got our back. And we're going to be all right. You can call it God, you can call it love, you can call it angels, you can call it all the above. But it's good. It's a good force. And it's here to help. All right, everybody. This is Michelle Angelic, Truth and Integrity Warrior, telling you peace out. I love you guys very much. And don't forget, love is an element. And I'm going to show how I'm using it. Under all circumstances. Under all circumstances. I love you guys. And don't be afraid to feel. Feel deep.